Hello everyone and welcome to our TOEIC course. Now in this first part of the TOEIC course or first lesson of the TOEIC course, we're going to have a quick overview of what TOEIC test is, what types the TOEIC test has, and what sections you see in the TOEIC test. So we're going to have a quick look at these aspects of the TOEIC test in our first lesson. Now, first of all, let's have a look at the types of TOEIC tests. Now, as you probably already know, we see in the market, we have three different TOEIC tests, everyone. First one is TOEIC listening and reading test. Now, this is the first one. Second one is TOEIC speaking and writing test. And third one is TOEIC bridge tests. Now, these are all separate tests, everyone, different from each other. Now, as you already probably know, the listening and reading test and the speaking and writing test, they both target intermediate to advanced level students. However, TOEIC bridge test targets beginner to intermediate level learners. For this reason, in our course, we're going to be covering listening and reading test and speaking and writing test. And we are not going to focus on TOEIC bridge test in our course. Now, these are the three different or separate TOEIC tests, and you can take each one of them separately or you can take them all together, okay? Depending on your needs, of course. All right. Let's start with the listening and reading test, and we're going to first have a look at its content and its format, all right? So firstly, the listening and reading test, it simulates real-life listening and reading situations relevant to the global workplace. So first of all, it simulates real-life situations, everyone. This is very important. In a business sector or in a workplace, what kind of real life situations do you encounter or do you see? This test covers all these different aspects actually. And another important point is you will see multiple choice questions in listening and reading test, okay? And this is the listening and reading test is a paper-based test. Okay, it's still not computer-based, so you will really sit down and have a paper and pencil in front of you, and you will do the test as it is. And for the listening section and for the reading section, you will see 100 questions for each section. So in total, you will find 200 questions. Okay. All right. So it's actually quite a long test when you think about it. Now let's continue with the test length, okay? How long the test is. Now the test takes about 2.5 hours in total, okay? And for section 1, the listening, you will have 45 minutes. And for section 2, the reading section, you will have 75 minutes, which totals to 2 hours actually, the listening and reading test. And you will have about 30 minutes to answer biographical questions. Now, so when you think about the total time that the actual test takes, you see that it's actually 2 hours, everyone. It's not 2.5 hours. But you are actually asked to answer the biographical questions as well. So when it's added to the test, it comes up to 2.5 hours in total. So this is the test length, okay? So let's go in detail to the listening section, all right? So in the listening section, you will listen to a variety of questions and short conversations, and answer questions based on what you have heard. and you will answer 100 questions in total. And it will have 4 different parts. In part 1, you're going to, the part 1 covers photographs actually. Part 2 covers question and response type of questions. Part 3 covers conversations. And part 4 covers talks. So very briefly, in the photographs part, you will be given photographs and you will choose the correct description of the photograph. In the question and response part, you will hear a question and you will be asked to choose the correct response to the question. In the conversations part, you will actually hear conversations between 2 people and you will answer questions based on those conversations. And finally, in the talks part, you will hear one short talk and answer questions based on these short talks. Now we will talk actually in detail about all these parts when we start our actual lesson. So don't worry about it. This is just an overview. So you will have 4 different parts in the listening section, okay? And in the reading section, you will read a variety of materials and respond at your own pace. Respond at your own speed. Now, in the reading section, you can actually control your speed. You will have 75 minutes to answer the questions. You can spend as much time as you want in any given reading text. But of course, timing is very, very essential for you. Timing is very important for you, so you need to be a little fast. But in the listening section, you will not be able to move in your own speed. You will move with the recording actually. So, reading part 1 and part 5 of the listening and reading test is incomplete sentences. So basically, you will be given a sentence here and you will be asked to complete this sentence with a vocabulary or with a grammar item, okay? And in the text completion part, you will be given a short text and you will again be asked to complete the text with a vocabulary item and or with the correct grammar. So interestingly, this is called the reading section, but actually 46 questions are on vocabulary and grammar. So it's not just reading then, it's vocabulary, grammar, and reading, we can say. Okay? And part 7 will be reading comprehension. You will read different texts at different lengths, and you will be asked to answer questions from these texts. And actually 54 questions will be from the text. So it's actually a little bit overwhelming, okay? So, what about speaking and writing tests? All right. So these were, so far we have talked about listening and reading sections of the TOEIC test. Now let's talk about speaking and writing tests. Now again, speaking and writing tests, they assess your speaking and writing skills used in the workplace through real-world questions and real-world scenarios. Okay? Interestingly, it is possible to take the speaking and writing tests together or separately on different days. And speaking test takes about 20 minutes and writing test takes about 60 minutes in total. And this is completely and fully computer-based. Now, when we come to the TOEIC speaking test content and format, you will see that the speaking test actually has 11 questions, which take about 20 minutes to complete. And you will be given a score between 0 to 200 from these 11 questions. Now, first two questions will be reading a text aloud. Basically, you will be given a text and you will be asked to prepare actually for first before reading it. And then you will be asked to read the text loudly, aloud to the computer. This will check your pronunciation and actually intonation. All right. In question 3 and 4, you will be asked to describe a picture. So you will be given a picture and you will be asked to describe these pictures. In question 5 to 7, you will respond to questions. So you will be given questions, usually 1 sentence length, and then you will respond or you will answer these questions. And in questions 8 to 10, you will respond to questions using the information provided. So in this part, different from the previous 2 questions, you will be given some information and you will be given some questions related to this information. And you will answer questions based on these. And totally oh yes, we have one last part in the speaking. You will be asked for an opinion. What do you think about this? Do you agree or disagree about that? So you will give your opinion on a question in question 11, everyone. Okay, so in total, this will take, all these questions will take about 20 minutes in the speaking test. What about the writing test? What content it has and in what format? Now, in the TOEIC test, we see that you have 8 questions, which take about 60 minutes. And again, you will be given a score between 0 to 200, hopefully somewhere close to 200, okay? All right, so in questions 1 to 5, you will be asked to write a sentence based on a picture. Again, you will be given a picture and you will write only 1 sentence describing that picture. And in questions 6 to 7, you will respond to a written request, or in other words, you will respond to an email. Usually, this comes in the format of an email, and you will write a reply to this email. And question 8, you will write an opinion essay. This is the longest part of the writing test, actually, because 300 words is not actually too short, so it will take some time to write the answer in the opinion format. Now, people, all these sections and all these parts of the exam, we will cover in detail within the course. So really, this is just a short overview so far. Okay, we will cover all these parts and all these sections in great detail within the course when we start. And actually, let's take a short break right now. And next, we will start with the listening text. After the break, we will start with an introduction to photographs, and we will have a look at some sample questions after the break, everyone.